Hello there. In this video I'm going to explain what you'll actually get if you purchase our Celtic knot jewellery software for £10. Um, you'll find that on our website if you go into the shop, or if you just search products for Celtic knot jewellery software. So this is the kind of item that you can actually create, and these are the patterns that you will get as part of the software. So 5 files for bracelets, 10 for earrings, 10 for pendants, and 4 for rings. You'll also see some links to some videos, and if you go to YouTube you'll find some more. So these are some of the objects, as I say, that you can create. Here are some other pictures as well. So a bracelet with a 4-leaf Celtic knot on it, pattern on it. Here the Celtic knot pattern is wrapped around a ring, and again wrapped around a ring, and here are some 3D Celtic knot patterns in the form of earrings. Okay, so if we go to Fluid Designer for 3D printing, I'm in the pendants folder, so you'll get these objects here. Some of them are 2D, this is a flat version, this is 3D version, this is the one that is used to make these earrings. So if I just drag and drop that onto the workspace, essentially all you need to do is to just change the count and make sure that the objects overlap. You can adjust the offset. As I say, you do need to make sure that they do overlap for them to be 3D printable, but essentially that's what you can do with the objects, and you can just then add in a connector, something like this, a wire connector, add that to the object to get your earring or get your pendant. Okay, so let me just come out of the 3D version. Let me just go back to the 2D one and just show you what that does, and I'll show you the 4-leaf Celtic knot pattern. So there's the basic pattern. Now this object is in fact a curve, and if I remove this bevel object here, you can see that's the raw curve. Now you can actually add Celtic knot curves to your workspace from scratch. You don't need to use the patterns that we've got here. You can actually generate your own, but what we've done is add in these values over here, and also we've set it up for you such that you can quickly create objects. So I can create a 3-ring pattern there. If I just change the thickness again, change it back down to 0.8 so you can see what's happening. I can change the angular value here, so if I change it down to 72, I can change my pattern, and I can have 5 rings in a circle there. And if I change the offset, you can see that I can get lots and lots of different patterns just from the one object. I could change the number of rows, although it's probably going to look a bit weird here. But if I switch off the angular pattern, you can see I can get a rectangular one there, so it's 5 by 2. So I can change the count, I can change it to whatever I want. I could also try scaling this as well, so I could just scale it in the X direction. That'll change the pattern again, and as I've just shown you before, you can change the thickness of this as well, so you could make it 1 by 2, so you can see it's 2 millimeters deep now, 1 millimeter thick. And again, you could add connector to it, something like that, a wire connector, to make a finished pendant if that's the particular style that you want. Probably want something a little bit thinner than that. Yep. Okay, so that's what you can do with the pendant style, and the earring style is pretty much the same as that. If I just go to the rings folder now and just show you what we can find in Celtic knot, terms of Celtic knot rings, the patterns that are available. So I'm looking for Celtic knots. Yep, so here's the 4-leaf object again. and you can change the objects in the diameter, so you can select a UK size, so I'll choose P plus 18.14. Notice when I do that, that circle that was there is no longer appropriate, so I need to select UK size over here if I want to see the circle. You don't print the circle, it's just to show you the actual object that the ring is wrapped around. So there's our ring, and we can change the count to complete the circle. You can change the offset, which will again change the pattern. So as you reduce the offset, the pattern changes. Clearly, as you do that, you need to increase the count, and you can go and make the ring complete if you want, and you can play around with the values here to get the pattern the same at the point where it meets, and for the rest of the ring as well. If you wanted, you could scale this down. If I scale it in the Z, that will thin the ring out, so I can get a thinner ring, but you notice it does change the pattern. And you could put in a second row if you really wanted to, and double up on the pattern there. Now, essentially the same thing goes for bracelets. So if I go to the bracelets folder, bracelets and rings are pretty much the sort of same thing, they're just on a different dimension. So if I just look for Celtic knot, I'll stick with the 4-leaf one. So here's what it looks like as a bracelet. Same sort of idea, you can set the bracelet size. The default size is 65 millimeters. You could set it down to 55 millimeters. It just means that object there needs to be switched off, and the 55 one needs to be switched on if you want to just see exactly where the object is being wrapped around. Again, this is a parametric smart object, so you can change the thickness of it. You can change it to a kind of square cross section 1 by 1. You can change it down to 0.8 millimeters there, or you can go back to the rounded cross section of 1 millimeters. And you can change the offset, which will change the pattern, and clearly you can then complete the circle to get a solid object. And you could tidy up that overlap by changing the relative offset value over here. So that's how easy it is using our software for Celtic knot patterns, and as I said, it's available at fluiddesigner.co.uk if you just type in Celtic knot jewellery software. So good luck if you decide to purchase it. Do also remember that you're not limited to actually creating jewellery with this. You can actually scale up these patterns and create all sorts of other objects if you just use your imagination. And there's lots of videos on our website under help and also under make as well. So there's the emerald gem 4-leaf Celtic knot ring, for example. If you click on that object there, it'll take you to the video and show you how to make that particular object. Okay, so that's it for this particular video. Good luck.